Hello, it's day 39
of the 29th year and beyond.
Alrighty, today, I really thought it was her day, and it's my day. So guess what? We're going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that you definitely you need to be willing to embrace, because there are going to be many opportunities along the journey where things occur, whether they were intentional or unintentional, whether someone felt disrespected or offended, and forgiveness will be the way to move forward.
That's right. Forgiveness is one of those things that I think is really challenging for a lot of people. I know for me, sometimes I can get so deep in my feelings and my emotions that I forget that God forgives me each and every day for things that I don't do. And this was a really strong, really big growing point for me. I would probably say at least for the first 10, maybe 12 years of our marriage. Yeah, I wasn't the most forgiving person. You know, I could hold something in. He didn't know it, but I mean, I could hold it in for a long time.
He knew.
Really?
Look,
seriously?
Well, see, and this is the thing. You know, what you don't understand is you begin to understand this person that you're on a journey with. And if you recall, there would be times when I said, well, Pumpkin, what's wrong? And you say nothing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I knew it was something, thus me asking. And I would say, well, in my mind, it's like, okay, when she's ready to address it, she'll address it.
That's
but
true.
you know, but then you also, it's not fair when you're not sharing, because in her mind, let's say it was something that I did to offend her. In her mind, she's thinking, he should know better.
Right.
Well, did you make that plain? You know, because too many times we think people think the way that we do, and that's not the reality.
I agree.
Or people have learned the lessons that we have, and that's not necessarily the reality. My thing is this. You want to be clear. If somebody has offended you or disrespected you, you want to be clear that you address what it was so that there can be the opportunity for it to be acknowledged and for that individual to ask for your forgiveness. But if you just sit back and stew and say, well, they should know, well, if they don't know or if they do know, you really don't know because you didn't address it. So you want to address it mainly because once you've addressed it, now they are aware. So if they continue to do it, now you know it's not because they don't know. More than likely, they don't care. But forgiveness is so powerful. Bishop Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, was quoted as saying, forgiveness takes the sting out of memory. So you don't forget those opportunities necessarily, but it takes the sting out of it. There may be opportunities where you get offended, where you get hurt or whatever, and you don't necessarily lose the memory, but you let go of the pain, and you don't hold on to the experience.
Oh, that's true. And you know, when you were talking and speaking about forgiveness, and son, I'm talking to you specifically because you have a lot of my traits, and I know when you get stuff inside of you, you just sort of let it ball up inside of you. You won't say anything. You just get sort of quiet and walk around. And I'll go back to when we were at the Mayflower. And remember when the Japanese people would come in, and remember they said they would never know, because no matter what would happen, they would be like, oh, it's very nice, thank you. They just wouldn't come back.
They wouldn't come back.
And so, son, I'm talking to you about this because I know that you are a loving, gentle, caring person, but when you can let things get inside of you and you won't say anything, you have to be willing to express how you feel when it happens. Don't hold on to it for a long time. Don't say, well, you know, I'll just let it go this time, because I guarantee you eventually it'll come back and it'll bite you and you'll be like, oh, there it is again. It's like being re-stung over and over and over again by something that's in your clothes. Remember the time you had the ants?
Yes.
So like that. So yeah, you have to learn how to forgive people. And at that moment, at that time when it happens, you have to be willing to say, hey, this bothered me so much, and I need you to know that right there, you hurt my feelings.
But let me say this about forgiveness. Not only do you want to have an opportunity for the person who was, quote unquote, impacted by that to be able to forgive you, but you have to be willing to forgive yourself.
Yes, true.
There are many times when you may have done something and the person that you love forgives you, but you continue to beat yourself up. And my point is, forgiveness is for the offended as well as the offender. And so not only do you want an opportunity for that person to forgive you, but you have to be willing to forgive yourself. Now, also, let me say this. You may have a situation where the person is not willing to forgive you. still be willing to forgive yourself. Because if they choose to hold on to something, you have no control over that.
That's right.
But you don't need to hold on to it as well. So forgiveness, understand, it is liberating. It is necessary.
It is freeing. Take it from one who knows.
And forgive me for thinking today was your day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow if the Lord says the same.
Thanks. Bye.